Coming up on this episode of the Martinville Raceway Report, we'll cover the race action at the track. We'll preview the upcoming last 3 races of the season. We have the Unlimited All-Stars going to be in attendance, and we'll give you the updated standings so everybody knows going in to the final stretch where everybody is standing in their class. All that and more on the Martinville Raceway Report, which starts right now.
It's my
As we have continued to do here on the Martinville Raceway Report, we definitely like to mention the sponsors as far as what has helped make Martinville Raceway have such a successful year. But I'm going to take a second, and it's not really a sponsor. I wasn't sponsored by anybody, but I want to thank the people at Michael Waltrip Racing. I was able to get a limited edition Napa racing hat from Michael Waltrip Racing. I happened to just be on Facebook one day, and I like Michael Waltrip Racing's Facebook page, and they were having a contest, and I just happened to put a comment on there, and by blind luck of the draw, I happened to win this limited edition hat, and it's a very nice hat. As hopefully you can see, it's got the Napa logo on the front, it's got the Michael Waltrip Racing logo on the back. Obviously, Napa is the sponsor of my favorite race car driver, Martin Truex Jr., and this is a limited edition hat, so I was ecstatic when I found out I won the hat. Also, if you would like this hat, which you will see at the track this Saturday because I will have it on my head, you can actually go to michaelwaltrip.com, and they have it, I believe it's still on their front page, where you can buy the hat, and I believe it's $24.95. It's a great hat, it's a very nice quality hat, and I want to thank Michael Waltrip Racing for having the contest, and also thank them for allowing me to be chosen as the winner of this very nice hat. Now on to the sponsors of Martinville Raceway. Like I've mentioned several times in several previous episodes of the Martinville Raceway Report, you can't have a first-class facility without having first-class sponsors, and Martinville Raceway has first-class sponsors. So once again, the sponsors of Martinville Raceway are Friendship Stores, Burris Tires, O&I Transport, Rod's Garage, Warner Racing, and Chafin Motorsports. Also, throughout the year, we've had raffles, which the proceeds of the raffles have gone to improve the lighting at the track. And there's been many people who have been very instrumental as far as the raffles being such a big success. And we'd like to give big thanks to Bogey's Smoking Barbecue for the pork donation on June 8th. And also Mad River Harley Davidson and TMR, who also made donations to the raffle on June 8th. And then there's another raffle coming up on September 14th. There's a 32-inch HD TV being donated by Mary Keaton of Medina, Ohio. A Tempur-Pedic Symphony pillow and magnetic levitating globes donated by TMR of Brunswick, Ohio. And Finn Feather and Fur of Ashland is also making a donation for the September 14th drawing. And also, throughout the year, there's been several people who've helped as far as going around and selling the raffle tickets, including Hannah Russell, Becky Wasson, Lindsay Bowden, Deb Davis, Cynthia DeWald, and obviously everybody who's bought tickets. And also, none of this could happen without Ma Warner. She's been very instrumental as far as securing sponsorship for the track. She's been in charge of a lot of these raffles, trying to get the nice products in, the nice prizes in to raffle on. So you can't say enough about sponsors of anybody. You can't say thank you enough, because sponsors don't have to give money or give items or anything like that. They do it because they want to. And this is just a small way to say thank you to all the sponsors who have been so instrumental in making Martinville Raceway such a great place to be at this year, and to help the 2013 racing season be such a success. I really appreciate everybody who is watching these episodes of the Martinville Raceway Report, and I decided to do something a little bit different for this episode's pit report. I decided to go on Bob's, and I put up a question. I want to try to get feedback from some people as far as what they thought this year so far as the racing on Martinville Raceway goes. And this is the exact question that I put on there. I said, in one word, describe the racing season so far at Martinville Raceway. Now, Team MMR on Bob's, they use 2 words, but I can live with 2 answers. They put delicate, I have a feeling that has something to do with turn 4 earlier in the year, and challenging. The new configuration of the racetrack has made it a little bit faster. Faster speeds makes it a little bit more challenging. AMRK put competitive, and that's definitely the case. There are some classes that are really close going into the final 3 races of the season to find out who is going to end up being the track champion. And then also Kenny H., who happens to be a forum veteran, he just plainly put exciting. And it's definitely been exciting this year at Martinville Raceway. There's been on several occasions, there's been several classes that you had to qualify from the heats and or the consi to make the feature because the fields were so big. We only run 12 in the feature races, so you had to race your way into the feature races. And so when someone wins one of those races, it's a lot more fulfilling to know that, hey, they had to get into the feature and then they had to win the feature. We've had surprise winners. We've had people have dominated on certain nights. But overall, Kenny is absolutely correct. It has been very exciting. And we've got at least 3 more races to go. So if you haven't been out to Martinville yet and you're watching this, get out to Martinville because it's some of the best racing action that you will see around. The racing is very intense. For the most part, it's also very clean. Do cautions come out? Yes. Do tempers flare up? Yes. You know what? That's racing. But overall, the racing at Martinville is first class and fantastic. And also, I can say from experience, I've been to several racetracks now, the crew at Martinville Raceway, as far as at the track, as far as during the races, as far as keeping everything in line, they do a fantastic job. So if you're racing at Martinville Raceway, please let the track, let Paul know, let anybody who's working on the track, let them know how much you appreciate what they're doing. Are they perfect? No. But do they give their best effort every day? Absolutely. So be thankful for Martinville. There's many tracks around the area that are closing down, and I hate to see that. I don't want to see any track close down. I want to see more tracks pop up. So let's be thankful for the fact that we have Martinville Raceway. Let's be thankful for the fact that there's a lot of people coming out to Martinville Raceway. And let's also be grateful for the fact that the racing at Martinville is, in the words of Kenny, very exciting. So thank you so much to those who responded to the question on Bob's. I really appreciate it. I'm probably going to put more questions up just to try and get some feedback from those of you who are watching the Martinville Raceway Report and those of you obviously who are going to Martinville on a regular basis. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the results from the racing action on August 17th. In the purple plate class, coming home in first place was David Newman. In second place was Austin Black in the number 78 cart. In third place was James Crow. Fourth place was Aaron Weekly. And in fifth place was Summer Colvin. In the kit kart class, in first place was the number 23 of Wyatt Crow. And in second place was the number 4 of Dane Howie. In the novice class, which is always nice to see the youngins running around on the track in the cart, obviously. Coming home with the win was Aiden Cron in the number 57 cart. In the gold plate class, to nobody's surprise, because he's basically won every feature race this year, I believe, except maybe one. Coming home with the win was the number 0 of Zach Newman. In the 360 clone class, coming home with the win and $200 was Luke Lahan. In second place was Landon Lalonde. In third place was Joe Gorenflow. Fourth place was the number 02 of Joey Pendergrass. And in fifth place was Epson Miller. In the 305 clone class, coming home with the victory was Sam Weaver in the number 24. In second place was Casey Heschel. Third place was Austin Butler. Fourth place was Ben Wasson. And in fifth place was the number 6 of Jenna Warnick. In the open clone class, coming home with the victory and pretty much dominating the class so far this year is the number 3 of Scott Roberts. And in second place was the number 44 of Mel Bowes. In the 360 flathead class, coming home with the victory and also $200 was the number 90 of Daniel Hoffman. In second place was Casey Heschel. In third place was the 09 of Kevin Warner. In fourth place was the number 22 of Gabe Calkins. And in fifth place was the number 22X of Stephen Fayadelem. I really hope I got the last name right. If I didn't, catch me at the track and let me know what the correct pronunciation of the last name is. In the open class, coming home with the victory is the number 20 of Josh Crow. In second place was the number 6 of Steve Edwards. In third place was the number 17 of Dan Jans. In fourth place was the number 19 of Matt Cron. And in fifth place on the track for possibly the first time this year was the number 2X of Clarissa DeWald. And in the 400 clone class, the other class, which is basically no contest, once again, coming home with the victory was the number 12 of Epson Miller. So those were the results from August 17th. We're going to see you again at the track on August 31st, September 7th, and September 14th. 3 races left. As far as I know, there has been no additional races scheduled. If additional races do get scheduled, obviously we will let you know as soon as possible. But right now we're down to 3 races for the championship, and like I've mentioned several times before, the racing has been absolutely outstanding this year. I don't see it getting I see it getting a lot better as championships come on the line, because there are some classes where the points are really close. So there's going to be a lot of drivers going for those championships. So if you haven't been out to Martinville yet, please come on out and see us August 31st, September 7th, September 14th. I guarantee you will not be disappointed if you've never been out there before. I guarantee you have a great time. But those are the results from the August 17th racing action at Martinville Raceway. Now, before we get into the standings as far as the racing action goes, after 6 races of what is right now 9 races of the 2013 Martinville Raceway season, I want to try explaining something real quick. I'm giving out the points as I have them, as they've been given to me for Martinville Raceway, but the one thing to keep in mind is everybody's going to be able to drop a race. Now, I don't want to go through and drop a race every week and everything like that, so obviously after the 9th race, you're going to be able to drop a race, so you're going to have 8 races that will count for the points for your season. But what I'm doing is I'm just adding them all up right now, and so you can see where you're standing. You can see where you're standing so far this year. But obviously that drop is going to be a big indicator as far as somebody may be able to pick up a lot of points on first place. So maybe they were out one race and so they're not on there, and then somebody else was there every race. But when you drop one, they're going to drop it with some points, and maybe someone who's only missed one race will not. And that can be a big wild card as far as who's going to win the championship. Now, I have posted on Bob's everything that I have so far. I put it on there. I put everybody's points for every week. Most likely, if you see a 0 under everybody, that was one of the rain dates. Obviously, there's some people that haven't been there every race, so they're going to have some zeros also. But if you see a 0 under 1 week for everybody, that's going to be a rain date. But everything's there. If you have any questions on your points, now is the time to get them answered. We don't want to go into week 9 with questions on somebody's points. We want to get it situated now so everybody knows going into the last race of the season, everybody knows where they stand. There's no questions. So those who have a chance at getting that championship that day, they know it, and then they can run for it. So as far as the standings go right now, these are, all, as I always say, they're unofficial. Martinville has the points. They have the final say and judgment over any standings, but I do get all my information from Martinville Raceway. They give me accurate information, and if there's any questions, it gets researched and they get me the correct answer. So far, the unofficial points, what we have going on in the 400 clone class. Now, it's pretty safe to say in this class, Epson Miller is going to win it. Anything can happen, but he's got such a huge lead, and I don't see any way of anybody coming up and beating him. So right now, I'm pretty sure Epson Miller is actually going to capture the championship in the 400 clone class, and he's got 165 points, and he's well over 100 points ahead of anybody else who has run in that class this year. In the 305 clone class, so far right now in first place is Sam Weaver with 186 points. In second place is Ben Wasson with 163. And in third place is Austin Butler with 140 points. In the gold plate class, which is basically a mirror image of the 400 clone class, one person has been in almost every race, if not every race. He's won it or come very close to winning it, and he's just dominating. He's got much more than a 100-point lead right now, is the 0 of Zach Newman. So it's pretty safe to say that he will most likely end up with the track championship this year at Martinville Raceway. Now in the 360 clone class, which is a much tighter class, right now leading is Epson Miller in the 12. He's got 149 points. In second place is Aaron Distel with 136 points. In third place is Joey Pendergrass with 127 points. And in fourth place is Austin Edgell with 114 points. In the purple plate class, now this is one of those classes where that one drop may come into place, because earlier in the year, Austin Black missed a race because he was sick. But since you get a drop a race, that may come into play. But right now I've got every point on the board. So right now in first place we have James Crow with 186 points. In second place is David Newman with 163 points. And in third place is Austin Black with 141 points. In the 50cc class, now I'm not sure if they're running for points or how they're doing it, but we've got points for them, so I'm going to give you the points what I got for them. Right now we've got Wyatt Crow with 175 points and Dane Howie with 91 points. In the open clone class, now as I researched earlier today, and I've got some information back as far as if it's going to be a class or what's going on. I'm not 100% for sure yet if this is going to be an official class. Now what I do know is it looks like the first two races of this year, nobody showed up in the open clone, or at least not enough people showed up in the open clone category, so they didn't have the open clone until the actual third actual race of the year, and we've been keeping points since then. So going from the third actual race of the year, not including rain dates, right now in first place is Scott Roberts with 139 points. In second place is Mel Bowes with 112 points. In third place is Brendan Goforth, my son, with 82 points. And in fourth place is the number 50 of Tony Street with 73 points. Now in the opens class, right now in first place is Matt Cron with 155 points. Right behind him, only 7 points behind, is Josh Crow with 148 points. In third place is the number 24 of Mike Pace with 116 points. In fourth place is Chuck May with 94 points. In fifth place is Richie McIntyre with 91 points. And in sixth place is Curtis May with 87 points. And then in the 360 flathead class, so far in first place we've got Kevin Warner in the 09 kart with 155 points. Right behind him is Jacob Lawhon in the 8 with 151 points. In third place is the number 20 of Tony Myers with 127 points. In fourth place is the number 30 of Mike Coleman with 107 points. And in fifth place is the number 23 of Gabe Calkins with 103 points. So those are the points as I see them with the information I have. Obviously, nobody's perfect. If you know of a mistake, if you know of a place where there is a mistake, let us know. Let's get it fixed now so there's no questions going into the last race of the season. So those who have a shot at that championship on championship Saturday will know that they have a shot, and then they can race for it. But it's been a great year so far. I mean, a lot of the races have been close. Like I mentioned earlier in the program, those feature races where we actually get to have a full class is awesome to watch those races. I'm lucky enough that I get to watch most of the races from the infield, and it is fantastic. It's one of the best seats in the house. So the points through race 6 of 9 of the 2013 season are as what I mentioned there. So as I mentioned before, if you haven't been out to Martinville Raceway, please come on out. I guarantee you're going to have a great time. Also, I almost forgot to mention this upcoming Saturday on August 31st, we will have the Northwest Ohio Unlimited All-Stars at our track for the second time this year. The first time they were there, they put on a great show, and we're anticipating another great show with them this upcoming Saturday. So it's been a great year so far at Martinville Raceway. It's sad to say that there's only 3 weeks left in the season, but they're 3 weeks right in a row. This is where it really comes down to crunch time. 3 weeks in a row, these last 3 races are going to decide the championships this year at Martinville Raceway, and we hope to see you out there. And I thank you so much for watching this edition of the Martinville Raceway Report. As always, any comments and feedback is definitely appreciated. We want this to be informative, and if you have any questions or you have any ideas, feel free to let me know. You can email me, you can message me on Bob's, however you want to get a hold of me. All I ask is you be nice, because I know I'm not a professional. I hope these shows are getting more entertaining. I hope I'm getting better as far as giving you the information. But I know I'm not a professional, but I'm doing this because it's something that I can do to give it back to a sport that I really enjoy. I can't drive, I can't put a cart together, but this is something that I can do. So I thank you so much for tuning into this edition of the Martinville Raceway Report, and we'll see you next time.